out for a day trip on a Saturday morning, March the 15th, 2025 at about 10:30 a.m. Temperature is 69 degrees and we're just crossing the Nueces River here close to Campwood, Texas. And believe it or not, there's actually water in it. Yeah, it really is. I don't know if there's going to be any squeaking noises or whatever with the holder. I finally rigged it up to fit on the mirror, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we're coming into Campwood, Texas, and then we'll turn right and we'll go to Lakey, Texas through the hill country. But anyway, what I was thinking about is, you know, I've got a Casita I'm going to pick up on April the 4th, 2025. And then what am I going to do? Well, live in it for a few months in Carrizozo or in that area, maybe travel around a little bit, and then in the fall come back to Texas and live in my home base there and use the Casita to possibly travel around in the Texas area. You know, like go over to Llano or Texas, Victoria, go down the valley when it gets cold, January and February. But you know, those are just tentative plans. But I've got to learn how to live in a Casita all over again. You know, I lived in one for 2 years, 6 years ago, and now I'm going to do it again. Yeah, I just couldn't pass up that deal they had in February, and so on and on we go, guys. I'm in my 2025 Ford Maverick, averaging 32.4 miles per gallon at 56 miles an hour. This road is not too busy, so I can drive 55 or 60, and we're okay. I'm watching the video to see if it fuzzes up, but right now it looks okay, and you get to see the stripes on the hood of my Ford Maverick pickup. So here we go. Campwood, Texas is on the edge of the Texas Hill Country. If you drive from Campwood, Texas to Lakey, Texas, L-E-A-K-E-Y, Lakey, Texas, it's a beautiful drive. It's a windy road right through the heart of the hill country, and then you come up in this little town of Lakey, and yeah, it's just a little tourist town. I'm going over there today. There's a place to get hamburgers and sandwiches and stuff. I can't remember the name of it, but pretty good. And I'll get me I don't know, a something with French fries and maybe, I don't know. I'll get something, because whatever I get, I'll use. That'll be my supper also. Supper is my evening meal. I grew up on a farm and we had breakfast, dinner, and supper. You know, and people in town had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It was always confusing to me. It still is. And then when, I met a girl one time and she said she wanted to meet for brunch. Meet somewhere for brunch. And I thought, well, now that's a good one. I mean, that's a new one. But I figured it out. I asked somebody with an education and they told me. Okay, Campwood, Texas. I'll tell you the population in just a minute. Population is, and I quote, 517. The big city of. And I don't think Lakey's much bigger. Just cruising, guys. I'm thinking about living in a Casita and how I'm going to get it organized and all that stuff. There's a little restaurant up here on the left. I've eaten there one time. It's all right. Yeah, it's right here. It is called Casa Falcon Restaurant. I imagine they pronounce that Falcon. Up here on the right is a little gas station. Gasoline's $2.82 a gallon. In Brackettville, Texas, it's $2.39 a gallon. And they have Hunt Brothers Pizza there. They also have a Dollar General here store. That's the Walmart for Campwood. Now we kind of turn into the sun, but not too bad. Temperature outside shows to be 68 degrees, and we're just doing a Saturday day trip. Why? Well, I just wanted to. I haven't done it in a while, and it gives me a chance to think. And I also wanted to check out my Ford Maverick pickup. I'm getting 32.4 miles to the gallon, but of course I've been driving around 50, 55 miles an hour. Makes a big difference. Not much wind. Well, I was into a little headwind for a while, but not long. And but overall, the pickup's doing good, and I'm looking forward to getting me a lunch, or would it be brunch? Well, it's 10:31. Would that be brunch? Probably, or close. I looked at some property for sale here in Campwood. They got a house it's what they call a fixer-upper. But when they say fixer-upper, that covers a whole lot of range there, you know. That means you got to rebuild it from the foundation up, if it has a foundation. But so we're cruising it. It gets pretty windy on up here. We'll let it go a few minutes, and you can just enjoy the drive. I don't have anything more to say about the Casita, or really the Maverick pickup, other than so far the Maverick is doing fine. You know, it handles really well. I mean, I'll give it that. It's got those 19-inch wheels, and it's got pretty, I guess you'd say, pretty truck-like suspension. Is kind of stiff, you know what I mean? But it's a smooth ride, and yeah, I like the way it handles. I do, and I've said this 15 times. I'll say it again. The ease of getting in and out is wonderful. The Prius was too low to the ground. The Fiat was too low to the ground. The Camry was too low to the ground. But the Ford Maverick pickup is just right. You know, calculate us, eliminate us. If you want to find out where something is, you got to find out where it ain't. But we're cruising along here right now at 45. I think I'll go up to 50 just for the hell of it. There's nobody behind me, but I thought I'd just show off a little bit. I had a snack, got me, I fell off the wagon and bought me a Diet Dr. Pepper, because this was going to be a good trip. But I also got me some green tea, and when I drink the Dr. Pepper down to where it's just ice, then I'll pour the green tea over the ice and have iced tea. And then I also have a little container of water. I know you wanted to know that. This highway number here is, I want to say, like 317. I could be really wrong on that, but I think that's correct. They got several little housing developments out here. I say they got a few. Let me rephrase that. The wind is out of the, I'm going to say, west. Yeah, it is. It's that red flag warning. And when the wind's out of the west, in Texas or anywhere really, that's the dry wind. And they call the wind Mariah. Never mind. Good song. This is a pretty rough road. We'll cross the bridge here, and then it smooths out a little bit. I'm watching the camera to see if it fuzzes up. Yeah, there's some pretty drives around Bracketville area. Of course, you got Del Rio, Lake Amistad. You can come over to Campwood, Lakey, Rock Springs area. That's kind of pretty hill country area. You can go over to Concan, Vanderpool, all of that stuff. Yeah, there's some pretty nice little day trips around here. And also there's some nice day trips around Carrizozo. You got Ruidoso, Capitan, get older anyway. But I was taking my walk this morning. I thought, well, are you going to go take a drive in the golf cart or the vehicle? I thought, well, let's take a day trip. So I loaded it all up, and away we go here. I'm sure there's some rattling in the deal, but it's not too bad. I mean, I can't hear it, but this holder squeaks. I mean, I try to everything's tightened on it, and it's just that it's plastic. Those flags there are hanging straight down. Interesting. And those flags are blowing. Interesting. How can that be? Could it be that there's a mountain or a hill blocking the wind? Saturday morning, March the 15th. 20 more days to get my new Casita. And then on and on we go. What's the long range plan? Say 10 years to live, to stay alive maybe. Yeah, that's a fact. Just to be here would be nice. Because that would put me right on the year 90. Roaring Springs Ranch. I bet there's no Roaring Springs here. Everything's dry. This is Campwood Creek. Well, there's water in. What about that? I don't think they've had any rain in a while. And they call the Texas Hill Country. It's always been a favorite spot for me. One of my favorite little towns is coming up. Campwood's a neat little town. Lakey's a nice little town. And there's another one near the state park, Garner State Park, called Concan. Concan. Vanderpool's neat. Robert Duvall has a place there, or did. They filmed a movie there with him in it. I think he produced it. And then you got little town of Medina, Vanderpool. Yeah, it's pretty right here. A lot of little towns. Property prices are pretty high. Particularly if you get on the Frio River. Or have any frontage on the Frio River. Any river frontage is expensive, or water frontage. If you have a place with water frontage or a great view, you got a good piece of property. Easy to sell. Yeah, in here, the hill country, there's a few oak trees, but mostly it's cedar. And cedar, it was not native to Texas. That was brought in as a windbreak, and it just took over. And the reason it did is because it sucks up 5 times as much water as these other trees and starves them out. Greedy little tree. Yeah, no, this is Highway 337. I said 317. 337. See right here, it says 20 miles an hour. We got little snakes back here. And when it says 25 here, it's pretty close to accurate. It means it. There was a friend of mine I grew up with named Kenneth. He was the son of a wealthy ranching family that had a lot of oil and gas on their property, so he always had when they came out with Corvettes, he had a new one every year. And he and another guy were in the hill country near here. It could have been on this road. But when they were in the Corvette, Kenneth was driving, and what Kenneth was doing is if it said 25, he would go 50 to make the curves. And then if it said 40, he'd go 80, okay? And he was doing pretty good, except for that one, you know what I mean? And anyway, they went off the road, slid down a fence line. Reggie was the guy that was with him. They're both dead now. But yeah, it scarred them both up really good. Totaled the Corvette, you know. Lucky they weren't killed. See what I mean about being 25 miles an hour? Got some switchbacks. Now see, that says 40, so Kenneth would have kicked it up to 80. But you know, they didn't go off the side of a mountain. Well, I don't know, they could have, but they went, somehow they hit a fence line because Reggie got really cut up with barbed wire. I don't know what happened to Kenneth, probably nothing. It says curve slow, 30 miles an hour. Well, I can tell you right now, guys, they probably mean it. And this could have been the area where they were doing their dumb thing. Yeah, he did all kind of crazy things, man. And we were on the beach at Port Aransas, and he had a Corvette, of course. And anyway, he would get right. Of course, in Texas, you can drive the cars on the beach, or back then you could. We were at Port Aransas and staying in a motel there. There was 4 of us. And of course, the Corvette can't carry that. I mean, we had 2 cars. I was with the other guy, or I had my own vehicle, let me say that. And so Kenneth and another guy got in his Corvette, and they were going down the beach. And Kenneth was pretty loony, man, particularly when he got drunk. And so he was driving down the beach, just right on that water's edge, and he was going about 120 miles an hour. You understand? Yeah. And a tree had washed up on the beach, and only part of it was showing out of the sand, and he hit it, went airborne, and yeah, it totaled another Corvette. I'm surprised he could get insurance. But he lived, and the guy with him lived. He was all broken up, but lived. What's that got to do with the Texas Hill Country? Well, those curves and the story about Kenneth. That's what it's got. Anyway, guys, we'll end this video up here somewhere. I'm going to get off here on this. This is Mitchell Ranch Road. I'm going to pull over there. Why? Well, I have never been on Mitchell Ranch Road. I mean, I'm not going down Mitchell Ranch Road. I'm just going to pull over and park here for a minute. Why? Well, I want to end the video. Anyway, guys, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye. Buy anything you want, drink plenty of water, stretch, walk, stand guard at the door of your mind, enjoy your life the best way you can. Adios.